Alright, welcome back. Step 1 in playing IQ Math is to shuffle the cards. Step 2. Give 7 cards to each player on the table. Step 3. Turn one card over to make a play pile and then put the rest next to it. Step 4. Players, please take your cards. Now you're going to be doing shedding. Shedding is to match the number card that is on the table. If you have the number card, please put it now.
No shedding.
In playing the game, you are going to be matching colors with colors or numbers with numbers. Let's now talk about the commands. There are 19 commands in IQ Math. The first command we want to talk about is this command here, the brown arrow. These commands tell you to give one card to the person of your choice on the table. In a two-player game, it goes to the other person. As you continue to play the game, you may come across another command. This command is the reverse command. Therefore, the person on the other side can shield it. Can you shield?
No.
Okay, so therefore, the person who played the game, play that card, is going to put another card there because they reversed it back to themselves in a 2 game. As you continue to play the game, you will come across other commands. And this command here with the triple arrow on the corner tells the person who played it to give 2 cards to the other person on the table. And it's 2 cards to the second player on the right or the left, depending on the direction of the arrow. Now, in this demonstration, there are only 2 players on the table, so therefore the 2 cards goes to the other player. There are also other commands that you will see when playing the game. Now, this card that has been played, there is a command on it, and this one is exchange all cards command. What this tells you who played the game, that you now have the privilege to exchange all your cards with the other person that is on the table. If this is not a 2-player game, if it is more than 2 players, then you will exchange all your cards either with the second player on your left or the second player on your right. Now, how do you determine which player that you need to exchange? If you look at the bottom of the triangle, you will see the direction of the arrow. That arrow tells you who to exchange it with. Second player in that direction. Now, the other person who is on the table, who the cards affects, has the power also to stop you from exchanging all your cards. When that will happen, that's if the other player has not that many cards. They may want to block that command because they do not want to give you those small amount of cards that they have. Now let's see what will happen here. Alright, this is the shield. The shield has the power to stop or to shield any command that is played against you, the player who has that card. You have to play it smart. You have 4 cards that has the shield and 1 that does not. And if you look also, this is a multicolored card, which means once you played that card, you will select which color to play next. However, if it is the second player on the right or the left that says shield, then that person will hold on to the card until it is their turn to put that card on the table. When they played it, when they say shield, if it was not their turn, they have to hold on to that card until it is their turn to put that card down. Now, the person who played that card needs to select a color.
Red.
The color that was stated was red. Now, this card is called the frozen card. Its job is to stop the next two plays. Any command that may be played will not be obeyed. So this card stops you from obeying the next two plays. They also selected red. This is a multicolored frozen card. You can play any color after that on this. Now that a multicolored black card, which is a frozen card, has been played, because this is a multicolored card, the person who played it must select a color.
Red.
Okay, now because this card freezes the next two plays, and the play that was selected now is a red, and it also has a command on there, that command is not to be obeyed. So they just continue the game. You have a card that is called the green arrow cards. This card tells you to pick up two cards from the pile itself. Now, one reminder: whenever a command is played, before the command is to be obeyed, the other person may shield the card. So do not give your cards to the person right away. You need to make sure the person can say shield or not. If the person say that they cannot shield, then the command is to be obeyed. As you continue to match numbers with numbers or colors with colors, let's see what happened. Now, we have another command that comes up as you play. This double circle arrow tells you to exchange two cards with the other person. So which means the other person will give you two of their cards, and you will give them two of your cards. So far we have seen many cards being matched by numbers or by colors, and we have seen also many commands. Let's see now what will be happening next. These cards, again, we see it tells us that each player will be exchanging all their cards. However, it is only the players that are intended. If you remember, the arrow tells you who to exchange your cards with. However, because this is a two players game, the persons that will be exchanging are the two players on the table. All the cards has been exchanged. Now the game continues. We now have a frozen card that has been played. Again, the frozen card freezes the next two games. That means that if somebody put a command, that command will be frozen. Now let's see what happened. We have a green frozen card that has been played. Now, just so that you know, the number is never played. Whenever you have a 1, you cannot put another 1 on this card. This card, the 1 is null and void. The only thing that you're doing is playing the color of the number or the color of the card, which is the black card. We have a green 9, but this 9 has no commands on it. So therefore, only thing that is happening now is just matching. Somebody played their shield. What that means is that they block, or if they are not blocking, they may not have the color that was played. Therefore, they're playing a multicolored card, and then now they're going to select which color they want.
Blue.
So there was no blue in the person's hand. The person went to the pile, they got a blue. Now as we can see, one player is done, the other player still has a card in their hands, and if you look on the card you will see there is a command which tells the person to go and take 2 cards. However, the game is over and all the commands have been looked at. Thank you again for playing with EyeQ. Now let's look at a couple of scenarios when the pile is empty. As you can see, there's only the playing pile, but there is no other pile to pick up from. So now let's see what happens when somebody plays a command. The command that was played is that green arrow that tells the other player to pick up 2 cards from the pile. However, since there is no pile, what will happen is that the person who played that card will give 2 cards from their own hands. So that is the way you play when there is no. Now another scenario that may occur when you're playing EyeQ Math is the following. Here is a command that says to exchange 2 cards, but one player has 2 cards, the other player has only 1 card. What do you do? Well, the player that has 1 card will exchange 1 card, and the other player that has 2 cards will exchange only 1 card. So let's see what happens.